just got here. Then who is...
Oh! This house is haunted!
This video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Make sure to subscribe and help get this video to 4,000 likes.
And I say, hey!
It's lunchtime at Lakewood Elementary, and someone has swapped out the brain spaghetti for worms.
They aren't real brain, they're jelly worms.
Still, you don't mess with another man's lunch like that. Meanwhile, Arthur gets assaulted by a toy spider while Binky finds human remains in his football helmet. Turns out all the boys were pranked by the same person, who instructs them all to meet at the library after school. Cause why wouldn't you follow instructions from someone who's clowning you? Francine is skeptical of the boys' suspicions until she gets strangled by a tentacle monster. Too bad the episode doesn't end right there. Surprise, surprise. It turns out the whole thing was a prank set up by Muffy to get back at the boys for the prank they pulled on her on April Fool's Day.
She sounds like a motorboat.
Leave it to Muffy to still be bitter about a lame prank she fell for over 6 months ago. Muffy says she has more scares in store for the boys and invites them to a Halloween party at the local haunted house. The boys are reluctant to come until they find out the author of the Scare Your Pants Off Club books, E.A. DePoe, will be there for a live reading.
She was Daddy's favorite teacher, and he likes her books as much as we do.
Was that before or after he tried to get the books banned from the library? The girls tell them to show up, otherwise they'll tease them for being chicken for the rest of their lives.
The older I get, the more I think that there's nothing scarier than girls.
Sounds like Buster's been reading too many subreddits again. The boys decide they need to scare the girls at the party before they can scare them. The brain suggests they take a page out of Edgar Allan Poe's book and bury the girls under the floorboards. Buster thinks they should go with War of the Worlds, while Binky insists on reenacting the legend of Sleepy Hollow, though personally I prefer the Pit and the Pendulum.
What a beautiful lawn!
Just then, Arthur comes up with the perfect plan. He whispers it to the group, even though nobody else is listening, because I guess it's more dramatic that way. They head back to Arthur's house, where they dress up Binky like a lobster pumpkin cowboy. Huh. Points for creativity, I guess. Meanwhile, the girls plan to scare the boys with a spooky tape and glow-in-the-dark balloons. Just then, the lights turn off and on all by themselves, but I'm sure that's nothing to worry about. It's Halloween and everyone shows up to the party in a spooky costume, except for this one girl dressed like Ace Frehley, who I'm pretty sure spiked the punch bowl. Muffy introduces E.A. DePoe, who apparently has no hard feelings against the Crosswires for trying to cancel her. The boys plan to set up their prank in the library when they realize they haven't seen Binky all night. Just then, Arthur stumbles into Binky, who weirdly isn't saying anything. Arthur tells him to get his ass upstairs while he lures the girls into the library.
He's gonna walk right into our prank. It's too perfect.
Francine, why do you even care? It's not like the boys pranked you. The kids head into the library when the girls realize all their stuff is missing. Arthur gives Binky the signal and the petrifying Pumpkinhead proceeds to scare the girls' pants off. The two yell at Arthur for scaring them, like the hypocrites they are, though Francine is more upset Arthur ruined their prank. Arthur tells the guys to come out, only to find they were in the next room the whole time. Turns out someone moved Muffy's balloons and tape player as well, and Arthur demands Binky explain what's going on. Surprise, surprise, it turns out Binky was downstairs the whole time. But if that's Binky, then who the hell is this? The kids run for their lives as the ghoulish ghost follows behind them. They try to tell Muffy's dad, who scolds the kids for trying to pull pranks on each other. Meanwhile, the exact same conversation is taking place in the attic. Turns out the house actually is haunted by a family of ghosts, who have apparently been trapped in the attic for over 50 years. The ghost girl admits she just wanted to go to the party, and got swept up in Arthur's shenanigans.
The boy asked me to help them. I just wanted to go to the party.
Muffy's father refuses to believe the house is haunted, shocker, and the kids decide to call a truce, though Lord knows it probably won't last for long. And we never see the ghost family ever again, because after the party, they were probably scared off by Mr. Crosswire, who renovated the house into an antique car museum.
Daddy bought it to make it into an antique car museum.
Now that's really scary. Let's review. Muffy became hell-bent on pranking her friends after they embarrassed her and spent over 6 months plotting her revenge. Francine agreed to help with her scheme, even though the boys did nothing wrong to her in the first place. Muffy used her dad's new house renovation as an excuse to pull off more spooky pranks, even though most of them were fairly mediocre. Muffy bribed her favorite author to come to her Halloween party, even though Muffy's family was solely responsible for nearly getting her books banned. When the boys tried to prank them back, Muffy and Francine chewed them out for doing exactly what they were going to do to them, and nearly shit their pants when a real ghost showed up. And even after the kids called a truce, it's only a matter of time before they're back at each other's throats, because we all know how much of a grudge these two can hold. F you, Francine and Muffy.
And I say,
Hey, I have a Patreon. Sign up at patreon.com/mattneff to get your name in the thank you credits, along with early access to every FUDW, and the chance to vote for future episodes. If there's a movie or show you'd like me to talk about, top-tier patrons can commission a review for my channel. Check out the link in the description to become an FUDW superfan. Coming up next.
If I win, no one will have to lift a finger. My father can pay for it all. After all, he owns Crosswire Motors. Don't walk, run to Crosswire Motors.
and I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. If you could learn to work and play and get along with each other.